Yeah, we're here.
Yes,
Ladies and
sir.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode, man, of Flyer from the Couch. Even though I'm not on the couch right now. I'm actually in my house somewhere. But we got a real special guest today, man. My brother, somebody I would consider a friend, Mr. Jovan Narcisse. How you feeling today, bro?
Thank you, bro. Thank you for the nice introduction, man. I do appreciate it, my brother. I see it's good to see you again, dude. And I see you all tatted up with the sleeves now.
After so many years, bro, it's been like how many years? When was the last time I seen you? It's been a minute, bro. It's been
Maybe like 2 years because you came.
yeah, I could have gone
Yeah,
like a couple years.
yeah. But before that, it's a probably a solid 6 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. So many things have changed, bro. There's so many. I'm sure you got a million things going on in your life, man. We graduated college a while ago. I think I graduated like a year before you.
Yeah, yeah. A year. Yeah,
Yeah. So, but man, I we took two different paths, bro. I took the career
dude.
path, taking my career path, but you actually took a different path, which is somewhat takes more balls. It
Yeah.
takes a lot of self confidence to take
Hmm.
that path of entrepreneurship. And for all our viewers, man, this man runs a soccer academy for kids. It's called
Hmm.
um, Fit Soccer Kids, and it's
Hmm.
based out of New York. And right now, you have over 1,000 clients or something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Hey man, I'm sure that took you a while to build up. So like, what made you like, after college, like what made you actually go into that entrepreneurship field, man? Like what inspired you to really actually do that?
Well, bro, it's quite interesting, man. So, when we were in college together, I know you were going more the finance route, and I was like, I want to go to med school, and then eventually I changed that to become. I wanted to become a PA,
Right.
right? And so after shadowing a few PAs, I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's it. I don't think this is it. And within that moment, I realized that I was doing this for my mom, right? I was trying to have something secure to say, okay, my son is successful, he's good, but I was really doing it for her, and I never thought about me. So
Right.
I started to think like, what do I want to do? Right? Like, what do I want to do? And I graduated. I applied to PA school. I got in, and I asked myself like, what do I really want to do? And when I told my mom I'm not going to PA school, she was like, "What?"
He was
She was,
devastated.
dude. She was,
Devastated.
man. She was pissed, man. She's like, "You've been working on this for 4 years, and now you're gonna stop, right?" So I took a year off, from school after graduating to just, figure out myself. Like, what do you actually want to do?
Right.
And throughout that analysis, I, arrived at Fit Soccer Kids. And even the story with that was so interesting. So the previous job I had, bro, during college, um, I was a soccer coach, right? So it's a flexible job. You can work, not a lot of long hours, make good money and keep going to school. So the interesting thing is, while I was doing that job, the very best coach in the company, I asked him, I said, "Hey, listen, Michael," his name was Michael, Italian guy. And
Right.
I said, "Michael, I just graduated college, but I don't know what I want to do. Right. And I don't want to do this doctor PA stuff, man." He's like, Giovanni. That's how he
Yeah.
says it because he's
Italian.
Italian. He said,
Right.
"Giovanni, what do you love to do, Giovanni?" And I said, "You know what, Michael? Back then I was big too, putting on the weight with the,
You were huge,
working out."
bro. You were like
Dude,
40 or something like that.
it's
You were
crazy. It is. So I said, "Michael, I love fitness. I love soccer and I love working with kids." And he's
right.
like, "Giovanni, that's it. Fit soccer kids." And then it was right then and there.
That was born.
I wouldn't say my mind was blown, but it's like I really started thinking like, wow, why not just combine all the stuff you love, right? I love fitness, I love soccer, and I love working with kids, and that's how you just put it together. And then the next year we just planned it out and got started.
Man, that's a really dope story though.
Yeah, yeah,
Now that you actually decided to blaze your own path and not,
yeah,
follow. Because I'm sure right now your mom is probably extremely proud of you.
yeah.
Back then a lot of people pursue entrepreneurship. The future is not certain. You don't know how it's going to play out.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, most entrepreneurs fail. So with
Yeah.
you to find those odds, man, congrats, brother. It really says a lot about you and your work ethic.
I appreciate it, my guy.
Appreciate it, man. So like, I'm sure like in your path to this, to building your business and everything, you ran into people who were like doubters or naysayers or some even haters. Like, how did you navigate that dealing with people who were haters or people who
Yeah.
tried to like, shit on your dreams per se? How did you navigate that and mitigate that and like get around that?
Well, to be honest, bro, I'm so thankful I had that because the way we grew up, back in my home country, it's like you always take that, internalize it, and let it fuels you, right? So it was just all this negative comment, the hate, and there wasn't even there. I'm not even gonna lie, they weren't hate. It was just doubters, right?
Right, right, right.
And they're doubting what you're gonna do, and it was just that was a motivation for me to prove them wrong, right? I love to prove them wrong, and it was so easy because I was doing something I genuinely loved, right? This didn't feel like
Right.
work to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, in my story, bro, like to me, I look at haters like as motivation. Like for me, hate is like a knife.
Yeah.
It depends on how you use it. So
Hmm.
hate is like a knife. And you can do a million things with a knife. You can cut, you can go in the kitchen and chop it up, have a great dinner, feed you and your family,
Yeah.
or you can use it to stab somebody and kill them. So that's how I look at hate. That's
I
how I
like
look
that.
at hate and doubters. Like,
I
I'm
like
not
that.
going to use that hate or the doubt to make me depressed or fall into depression or feel sorry for myself. I'm actually going to use that as motivation. As a matter of fact, bro, as corny as this sounds, I have a shit list.
This
Like,
guy.
I have a shit list of
Wow.
every negative thing people said about me
Wow.
over the
Wow.
years. I wrote it down, bro. And every fucking time I feel like giving up, I look back at the list and I'm like,
Bro,
hell no.
this
Oh, hell
guy's
nah.
that's what, bro.
Bro, I'm dead
That's
ass. It's like I will never, bro. I promise you, they will be in their graves cold as ice
wow.
before they see me, what I'm saying, fail or reach out to them. Like, I would never do that. I would never
Mm,
get satisfaction. And you know
wow.
what's crazy, bro? You probably don't even know this. So I graduated, right? I graduated college, right?
Yeah.
And I've never gotten fired from a job ever, ever. But guess what I did though? I
Quick.
got I got laid off.
Laid off.
I got laid off 3 times,
Wow.
bro. 3 times, not once, not twice, 3 motherfucking times.
After graduating?
Yes, bro.
That's
You
wild.
you probably didn't notice. Did you know that?
Damn. No, I didn't, bro.
Exactly. Because I'm such a hustler, bro. Like, even when I'm struggling, you won't have the slightest idea. Because
Wow.
I'm gonna always find a way to get mines, bro. And that's how and to me, that hating and that motivation motivated me to be that person. Because
Hmm.
my first job, they were having budget cuts, they were running into issues, and then they had to let some people go.
Yeah.
Like as a young college grad, first last one in, first one out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not mad at
Exactly.
that. Like, I'm not
Exactly.
mad at that, to be honest with you. If I could go back in time and change what happened to me, man, I wouldn't change a damn thing. Because you know what?
Mm.
That builds so much character in me, bro. That, like, I know people that the minute they get a curveball, they start bitching and complaining. I don't have time for that, bro.
So, but how did you deal with that though? When you got laid off, take me through that exact moment. Like, what's going on in your mind? You're home.
Okay,
You're
so
not doing anything. You're
okay,
like, what's going on?
funny story, funny story. So no, actually, I did get fired once, but it wasn't from my career job. It wasn't from my career job. It was from FedEx. So I'll give
Okay.
you that story. So
Okay.
So what happened was, the first time I got laid off, I had you when you get laid off, you get like what do they call that thing?
A severance package, is that
Severance,
what it?
exactly.
Yeah.
So I got a severance
Mhm.
package, right? So they gave me a severance package. They told me like, oh, you can file for unemployment, XYZ, the whole works, right? So I'm like, okay. So I left the office, you know what I'm saying? I went home, and I told my wife like, hey, you know, I got laid off today, and she's
Damn.
like, damn.
That was
He was
tough.
disappointed. And at the
That
time,
must have been tough.
bro, tough. And you know what's crazy? At the time, at the time, I was the only one working. She wasn't working. She
Damn.
went back to school. You know what I'm saying? She went back to nursing school, so she wasn't working at the time. You feel me? So I'm the main breadwinner, and I
Wow.
just got let go. You get what I'm saying? So you can imagine like the turmoil, like the stress. But it was at that moment I realized I had to get on my bully. It was not time to be
Mm.
sorry for myself. It was not time. So I started applying for like other jobs in my field. But at the same time, it takes a while for sometimes jobs to turn around, for
Exactly.
interview, all that stuff, right? So I got a job at FedEx, right? I got a job at FedEx. So I don't,
During that time.
hell yeah, bro. I'm a hustler, bro. I was working at FedEx in the day.
Yeah, let me ask you this though. So you graduated college,
Right,
got your degree,
right.
got a job,
Got laid off.
making good money, got laid off, and then you went to become you went to work at FedEx.
Yeah, like a package delivery guy at FedEx, right?
Yo,
So
that's
I was doing that.
wild.
I was doing that, and then I had to pay my bills, and that kind of wasn't enough. So I had to get a second job. Like once I left FedEx, I would go to deliver pizza at Domino's, right? I would just jump in my car, deliver pizza, blah blah blah, because I had to make ends meet, right?
Yeah.
So, and the whole time I was doing it, I was still like interviewing, for my career job. But before I got back my second job, which I did eventually, I worked at FedEx. Bro, FedEx was I have a special appreciation for delivery drivers, bro, because FedEx is a crazy job.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one time I was a FedEx delivery driver, right? And I had to deliver a fucking package to a house, but the house had a big ass pit bull in the yard, bro. And bro, that dog was walking around like it's his place. You feel me? So I'm like, damn, I got some packages, but I don't know how to get around the dog.
Yeah.
Bro, when I say, bro, I got out the truck. I waited till the dog turned the corner to get around that side of the house. Bro, I sneakily got out the truck, bro. I got out the truck with a package. Bro, I forgot dogs can hear shit. Like, he heard all that shit, bro. Bro, when I say the dog came around the corner just jetting, bro,
Damn.
I dropped the fucking package and I was like, I'm out of here.
Damn.
Bro, the dog caught my
That's
fucking shoe. The dog caught my shoe, bro. The dog through his mouth. Bro, I had to move heaven up and earth to get that fucking dog off me, bro. So, anyways, I got away. So, and I left, right? Then I got back to the warehouse. I'm like, God damn, bro. Like, I told my manager, I'm like, bro, I got attacked by a dog yesterday, man. Like, I can't keep doing this. So he's like, okay, here's some dog treats. So I got some dog treats, right? And it wasn't just one
Yo,
house, there's
what?
several houses with dogs. So
Wait, so they're giving you dog treats.
yes, bro, he gave me some dog treats. So
Wow.
once I got the dog treats, I put them in the truck, right? And there was another time I went back to that house, but this time I had the dog treats. So I saw the dog came running at me. I threw the dog treats the opposite way. So he stopped, he looked, then he ran over there to eat the treats. I just delivered the package and got the fuck out of there, bro. Like,
Damn.
it was wild. But I did get fired from that job though. And I got fired because on this particular day, man, on this particular day, it was Mother's Day, as a matter of fact. It was
Yeah.
like, it was in the summertime. It was Mother's Day weekend, right? So usually I get to the warehouse like 5 o'clock. At that time, I don't know how they do it now at FedEx, but at that time you had to pack your own truck, right? Throw the stuff in, pack your own truck. So I was packing my truck and I was done, bro. I was like completely done. And then it's like I had one package that was missing, right? One package that was missing. And I'm like, man, like I usually try to leave the warehouse at 7 o'clock, right?
Mm.
And 7 o'clock is like, if you don't leave your house at 7 o'clock, because I had like 120 stops. So if I didn't leave at 7 o'clock, I wouldn't be done till like 9 p.m. at night. I'm not trying to
Wow.
be out that late. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey man, there's just one package. I'll leave it today. Tomorrow when you guys find it, I'll just deliver it, right? Because they couldn't find the package. My manager is gonna tell me that I can't leave without that one package. I'm like, bro, I got 150 packages in the truck. It's one
Wow.
package. I'll just deliver it the next day. He's like, no, it's Mother's Day and blah 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 blah. I'm like,
Mm.
you serious? So he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. So I didn't even attempt to help them look for the package. I sat my ass down on the back of the truck on the steps. I'm like, I'm not helping you motherfuckers look for shit. So because I was pissed off. So I sat down on the back of the truck, bro. I sat down on the back of the truck. And then it's like it took them about an hour and 30 minutes to actually find the package. So this was 8:30 pretty much, right?
Wow.
Bro, it was at that point I determined that I wasn't fucking gonna work there no more. I'm like, man, I want
Mm,
this job, bro. But keep in mind though, keep in mind I wasn't acting stupid. I already I think like 2 weeks a week before that I already found my career job.
mm,
Right. So I had that in my back pocket. So I'm like,
makes sense.
man, I told him like I wasn't even gonna quit or nothing like that. But I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna stay home for the next week. So long story short, they came back mad late with a package, bro. And I'm like, okay, I left. You know what I did? Bro, I went straight to Wawa, got me a fat ass hoagie, sat in the truck, had the hoagie, like after I finished eating the sandwich or whatever. I packed up the sandwich, wrapped it up, threw it in the trash or whatever. I got back in the truck, drove back to the warehouse. Now, keep in mind, I didn't deliver shit this whole time.
Mm,
I didn't deliver
wow.
shit. All the packages were still in the fucking truck. I parked the truck back at the warehouse at about, this was about like 11:30. I was back at the warehouse. I didn't deliver shit. I took the gas card. 'Cause, they gave you a gas card.
Yeah.
Bro, I took the gas card, bro. I filled up my personal car. I called all
Damn.
my homies and said, "Hey, y'all want some free gas?" They're like, "Oh hell yeah, bro!" It was like about 8 cars at the gas station. I was just
Damn.
off like, "Hey, y'all can have this. Y'all free gas for everybody." That was just me being petty, right? So after I did that, I brought the truck back. I took off the shirt. I left it in the truck and all that shit. I went home. My manager called me like later that night. He's like, "What the fuck happened?"
Hmm.
I'm like, "Bro, I told you. If you made me late, I'm not going to deliver a single package." Now, I'm not a type of person to say shit I don't mean. I did tell you I was going to do that. That he's like, "So really on Mother's Day, you're going to fuck me like this?" I'm like, "Bruh, do what you need to do." He's like, "Man, you're fired." I'm like, "I know. Like, I didn't, I didn't do a shit." It's like, "Oh, you're fired." Like, I know I'm fired, bitch. Like, am I supposed to care? I didn't
Yeah.
care, bro. But that's because I had my career job lined up, man. So
Hmm.
that was the one single time in my life I got fired from a job. But besides that, man, I mean, I've got laid off other times too. But every other time I got laid off, the gap in between it took me to find a job, it was faster and faster.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I got laid off a couple times in my life, and not one time did I ever complain. Not one time did I ever try to blame other people. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I never blame anyone. And a lot of people, a lot of people that, they thought like a lot of people thought I was moving too fast. Like they were saying, "Oh, he's accelerating." But I was moving at my own pace. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They thought I was moving fast because it probably takes them forever to do shit. It doesn't take me that long to do that kind of shit. It doesn't.
Mm,
So, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, they never knew anything. They probably still don't know unless they probably watch this live stream. That's the only time that's
exactly.
the way they would know. But they didn't, and that's how I really deal with, doubters and haters, man. I work my ass off, bro, and I use them as motivation to actually help me, you know what I'm saying, get to my goals, so that's my story about haters, man, and just doubters in general.
Wow. That's amazing, man. That's amazing. It's always great to internalize that hate or the doubt and
Yeah,
use it as fuel,
sure.
and don't waste it.
Yes,
Right?
people
It's
wait,
already coming your way, so don't waste it. Just
embrace it.
channel it into something else that's, more productive.
Exactly. So how do you deal with, because I've ran into this situation a couple times. I've ran into this situation with family, with friends. How do you deal with like people asking for money or people borrowing money all the time? And
Mm.
sometimes they borrow money and it's an issue to actually pay back the money. Like, how do you deal with that?
Right now, the way I deal with it is a lot different than how I dealt with it in the past. In the past, you always trust to just give your money to friends, to families, and then, a few things would happen, right?
Mm.
One, you probably wouldn't get the money back, right?
More than likely.
Two, you'd have to chase them for the money. And this is probably the most annoying one, right?
Oh yeah.
Three, they'll give you the money back in bits and pieces, right? That's
That's
the
the worst.
worst
That's
one.
the worst.
So after all those experiences, I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna create some lending principles for my life, right? I like to have like principles that I can follow,
Around.
so I create lending principles. So one, never loan money to family. Me, I'd much rather give. I just,
Oh
if you
yeah.
need something, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm not gonna lend you any money because I feel like that just um creates too much opportunity for
Friction.
disagreement and friction, as you just said.
Hmm.
So I'd much rather give, right? So if they need it and I can afford to give, I'd rather give it than loan them money. Friends, I'm not even sure right now I have anyone that can just call me and ask for money. Very few people, very few people, but um oh, it's kind of hard to say friends because I have very few friends and the friends that I do have are self-sufficient,
Yeah,
right? So it's
they
like
don't really need to
they're
borrow.
not gonna call me and say, "Hey, can I get X and X?" So
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to say that. But aside from but I've had situations where associates and colleagues have asked, right?
Hmm.
And that's just a firm no, because if you're
I
trying to
respect that.
preserve what that relationship is in that moment, a no is always the best answer. Because if you lend them,
Hmm.
they're gonna come back and ask after they pay, and then it's just a habitual thing, and you don't want that.
Yeah.
So yeah, friends, fam, that's how I deal with lending. It's pretty straightforward. I like to believe in these principles and a very thick boundary line that nobody crossed that boundary line. So yeah.
Bro, I deal with it like this. I've learned over time I say no a lot more than I say yes. If I'm
Mm-hmm.
being completely
Yeah.
honest, I
Yeah.
say no a lot more than I say yes. And when it comes to people, borrowing money, always needing stuff, I notice one thing.
Mm-hmm.
All people, whether it's friends or family, everybody, I notice this one thing with them. It's like when it's time to borrow the money, they have a different energy. It's like
Yeah.
you want to borrow some money, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I needed to do XYZ, you know what I'm saying? I'll pay you back on this time. They'll tell you they'll pay you back next week, knowing damn well they
Yeah.
cannot pay you back next week, but they gonna tell you that, right?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Exactly. So with me, I've learned to say no a lot more than I say yes. So how I do it is, bro, most of the times I don't lend money. I'm like, I'm sorry. I only lend money if I tell people I'm your last resort, not your first resort. If you want some money, you better call the bank. You better call everybody before you call me, bro, because I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lend you money like that. Because a lot of times I rather, and like you said, it's easier to just give money than to lend money. Because somebody said, you shouldn't lend more than you're willing to lose, and that's very true. Because
So
a
let
lot,
me let me ask you. You say no a lot, but what if someone is really struggling? Someone they're really struggling, right? And you have that principle in your life that you'd much rather say no than yes, and you're the last resort.
I mean,
And
if somebody's really struggling, I
mhm,
wouldn't lend them anything. I would just give them money.
okay,
I wouldn't want it back because I feel like lending money to your friends, it creates a master and slave,
yeah, it does.
it really
It
creates a master
it
and slave
does.
mentality. And then what I don't like about it is that when you lend somebody money, it feels like that person's always watching you. Now, if you take a vacation, it's like, oh, you're on
Mm.
vacation, but you haven't paid my money back. But
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
in London at Big Ben, but where's my
Hmm.
money?
Exactly.
And every time you see this person, the first thing that comes to mind is, where is my motherfucking money, bro? You
That's
go to
facts.
Thanksgiving with them. All I'm thinking about is, where's my money? Like, you borrowed this
That's
shit from me
facts.
6 months ago. I don't want that to happen, bro. I love my family. I don't want
Mm,
money to be the reason why, you know what I'm saying, I have issues with them. A
exactly.
lot of times, if it's not something that's they're in dire need of, I'm like, listen, you might want to ask the bank or you might want to ask somebody else. I'm not the guy for you because what one thing with me, I will always ask you for my money back. If you tell me, like, say for example, you say, hey, I'm gonna borrow some money today, I'll have it to you by Monday, by next Monday. Best believe I'm gonna give you all day Monday to pay me back. But
Mhm.
Tuesday, bright and early, you're gonna hear from me. Where's my money? I'm dead serious, bro. Where is my money?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like so many people, and you know what's crazy? When people borrow money from you, bro, it's like they're saying that, oh, it's just a little bit of money, blah blah blah. When it's time for them to pay back the money, they like to downplay it and act like
mm,
asking, bro, who the fuck are you to borrow some money from me? When I ask you for my money, all of a sudden now it's a problem. You get what I'm saying?
I do, I do. You're right, man.
I don't like that type of behavior. So because of that, man, I say no a lot more than I say less when it comes to borrowing money.
Mm.
Because everybody wants to borrow, but when it's time to pay back, they don't have the same energy. So
I think that's a principle everyone should go by, right? But if
yes,
it comes to a point where I do lend, I think you should lend with some conditions, right? Like, does this
absolutely.
person have the ability to pay back,
Or
right?
their history. Look at their history too,
Exactly, exactly. Do a full on credit check,
bro.
like you want to know if this person has the ability to pay back,
Be back.
and you want to make sure that this person, all right, let's say it's a lot of money, right?
Yeah,
You want personally for me, I want to hold on to some collateral. Like, what do you have that I can hold on to before
exactly.
I
That's
go ahead and
motivation for
part
them to pay
ways
back too.
with this money? So I read this book once. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon, and man, it's such a great book. It talks about the lending of money, right?
Hmm.
And how much it deteriorates relationships. So
Bro, all the
uh,
time.
yeah,
Not even just money. I'll tell you another story too. I feel like with money, when a lot of like, for example, like people will come to me and ask me to borrow money, right? And a lot of times I say no. And when I say no, some people get offended. I'm like, listen, if I should lend y'all all my money, right? If I should lend you guys all my money,
yeah,
when I get on a say I fall down, say I get on hard times, none of y'all can help me.
that's facts.
You get what I'm saying? So a lot of time, the people you're lending money to, if you get in a bind, they can't even help you.
That's facts.
They can't help you, bro. So I'm like, I'm not gonna keep lending my money to people and then helping them out, right? And not saving any of it. And then when I'm in trouble, they can't help me. And then what they're gonna say is, man, I mean, I thought you was doing well, man. How the hell did it happen to you, bro? Like, you gotta take better care of your finances. They don't remember that they was borrowing all your motherfucking money at one point, right?
Exactly, exactly.
And they didn't pay you back. They never
Uh-huh.
paid you back. But they remember that, oh, you should have been on top of shit. Like, really?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it, man. Like, I'm not gonna lend. I will give to a certain extent to help, but I'm not gonna extend myself and put myself out the way to help you
that's
or
facts.
bail you out, because at the end of the day, I have my stuff to worry about. I got my family to worry about. So
Mhm.
I'm not gonna, e- hyper extend myself, and then when I'm in trouble and I call on the same people to pay me back or help me out, they can't help me out. That's counterproductive, in
Yeah,
my opinion. So a lot of people don't like it, but tough, tough,
exactly, man. It's just, we just have to learn to say no a lot more and keep
bro.
it pushing.
If you don't say no, I promise you, you will go broke. You will go broker than Bernie Madoff, bro. You will lose all your fortune. I'm telling you that, right?
Yeah,
Just because you're trying to people please and, you know what I'm saying, be on everybody's good side.
that's facts.
Yeah. So like, in the world today, man, I feel like the world has changed so much. Even from 2013 to now 2023, 10 years apart, we don't even live in the same world anymore.
That's facts.
We're living in the information age. We're just living in the age of information overload, in my opinion. And a lot of times, the media portrays stuff, in a certain kind of way. So with that being said, do you feel like the media is a reliable source of information? Do you think, as citizens of the country, we should we should believe what we see on the media, for example, like on TV, on the news? Do you think it's a reliable source of information to and give it a lot of credibility? What do you
I
feel
don't,
about
dude. You would like to be able to give the media a lot of credibility, but based on the evidence, right?
that? Hmm.
You just can't, because for example, like if you're watching CNN and you're
Uh-huh.
watching Fox, they're taking two completely different approaches, so you don't know what's true, right? So
Exactly.
it's to me it's less about informing people and more about
Convincing.
segregation and having this specific group of people. They need that divide, right? So to achieve their objective. And what I would start by, I would, I would just ask, like, who owns these media companies? Like, who owns them and what's their agenda, right? For example, if let's say you're watching a YouTube channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
um and this guy is talking about relationships, right? You
Right.
know him. He's the face of what he's talking about.
True.
Who's the face of all these big media companies where you don't know what's their true agenda? We know this guy that has his YouTube channel. His true agenda is to just grow his channel. So he's going to want to
Right.
pump out some valuable content, right?
Right.
But
Right.
what is the true agenda of all these people that run these organizations? And I feel like you have to start there before you can say, all right, maybe I'm going to listen to this one or listen to that one. And even if you do, you have to you can't just go with what you've heard them say. You have to develop your own intuition and your own idea of what's going on based on what you see.
I mean, I agree with everything you just said. I think but I do believe their agenda is they have each company or channel, whatever, they have their own political agenda. For
Yeah.
example, CNN they have a democratic agenda. They're always pushing the left. They always, side with the left, or they try to taint the news in such a way that it makes the left look positive. And then they shit on the right. Fox is the opposite. They lean to the right, they taint, things to the right, and then they shit on the left. So for me, it's like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like to me, it's like a machine. They're both like machines, and the main purpose of this channel is to make the other side look bad and emphasize the good, or exaggerate certain things that their party's doing. For example, Fox is going to exaggerate everything good that the right is doing, right?
Mm,
And CNN is going to exaggerate and probably even lie. I don't know. I'm not saying they're lying, but they're going to exaggerate, and they're going to make sure that the agenda on the left is fully being emphasized. And if you notice it, more Republicans watch Fox than CNN because it's
mm,
more right leaning. So with that being said, I think media it's all political for me. I think it's all political. I think a lot of these companies are sponsored by Republicans or Republican
mm,
companies to push their propaganda.
mm,
I mean, and so with that being said, I don't think media is a trustworthy source of information today. I think they cover what they want to cover, and they omit what they want to omit, depending on the audience they're trying to appeal to.
So,
That's
what's your trustworthy source of information then? So, if somebody's watching this and now they listen to you and they're like, all right, maybe I can't trust the media, where do you go to get credible information?
that's a good question. It's very hard to say. It's hard to say. I mean, I see things on Google. You have other news channels like MSNBC, but to be totally honest with you, I can't say fully if any of these sites are fully credible. I
Hmm.
can't say that for sure, because at the end of the day, they all have writers, they all have control, and they all have some agenda or some objective that they're trying to get to, depending on the objective. If it's a fact based objective, it might be factual, but
Hmm.
I don't know their objective. They don't tell me their objective. They don't even share their objective. So it's
Mm,
really hard to say if any media source at that is a credible source of information,
mm,
because we, as the regular human being that's outside the bubble, we only see what they put, what they choose to see us. We only see what they put on TV. We don't
mm,
see what they're leaving out, or what they're
exactly.
choosing to leave out. So I don't think it's smart to put your trust in any part of the media, as in whether it's CNN news, whether it's Fox News. I think they're all politically driven. And
Mm,
if something is politically driven, there's a bias on both sides. So it's hard for you to really know what's true and what's not. So I would say, in that regard, it's hard to put any trust in the media, which is why I have absolutely no faith in the media and what they say.
mm.
you got to listen really well and pick. Obviously, you can pick sense out of nonsense, but we just don't know, and that's the scary part. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We only know what they choose to show us.
Makes
So
sense.
I can't say for sure if, since I'm saying don't trust the media, I can't even give you a solution to the problem. Now, this is where you should actually go get your information, because I myself, I don't even know.
Mm,
I don't even know. But what I do know for sure is that media is politically driven. That's 100% what I'm sure of.
yeah, yeah.
So it's a scary world to live
It
in.
is, man. It is, and you have to be mentally strong to be able to, absorb all this information and then
Oh,
pick sense out of nonsense
right,
and cr- create your own intuition from that, right? So instead of, oh, CNN said this, oh, Fox said this, it's like, all right, you watch it, you analyze it, and you have to ask yourself, based on your life values and moral values,
right.
what do you think is actually right? Because some of the times, to be fair, man, it's like sometimes people just want to know what's right and what's wrong. Like it's
That,
that
that is
simple,
that is exactly the
right?
point.
But because that line is so blurred now we're asking ourselves like, what is right and what is
Yeah,
wrong?
you don't know which way to lean.
So if you have strong moral values, I think you always know what's right and what's wrong, what you won't do and what you will do.
Exactly.
And based on what they're saying, if you and if you apply some critical thought, I think you'll be able to just say, all right,
Navigate through it.
yeah, navigate through it a lot better. So
Yeah,
that's what I think, man. It's a scary world out there, brother.
bro, it is
It
insane.
is.
It is insane, especially today in the over information era. All right, man, we're gonna get to a little bit more fun topic. I'm gonna ask you this question. So what's one thing today that you think it is a scam, but we don't realize it's a scam?
Mm, that's a good one, man. That's a great question. Um, we just talked about one, the media for sure.
Right.
A scam, and we don't realize it's a scam. All right, this might be a little bit too controversial, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it anyways. I firmly believe that college is somewhat,
Oh,
depending on what you're studying, is somewhat of a scam, right?
give
I'm
me a
telling
breakdown. Why do you say that?
you,
College is a scam. So give me a breakdown.
because it costs so much to go to college to get a piece of paper.
And that paper, it doesn't guarantee anything.
It doesn't guarantee anything. And let me tell you this, basically everything that they're teaching us, you already know that you can learn on YouTube. You have platforms like Skillshare. If I want to learn
Bro,
something right now, I'm going to
bro,
go to Skillshare. I'm going to go to YouTube. I'm going to go to Google. The only skill that you need to learn is how to dissect and narrow down that information,
bro.
right? Because all of it is applicable. If you want to learn to make a website, if you want to learn business, if you want to learn entrepreneurship, most of the people in the world, I mean, a lot of people in the world, as a matter of fact, they don't even have a college degree. So
Nah, they
I
don't.
feel like pushing the agenda that you need college to, be successful. And I feel like the new generation, they're seeing that a lot more. Kids are looking at the internet and they're saying, "Oh, I want to be content creators. I don't want to be an astronaut. I don't want to be a doctor. I don't want to go to college.
Yeah, because
I want I want to be like Mr. Beast."
exactly, because that's more attractive these days.
Yeah, it is, bro. It is.
It is. I mean, for me, college, I think college somewhat is definitely a scam to a certain degree.
All right, let me ask you this, brother. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
You went to college for 4 years. We both did,
Yeah,
right?
we did. We did.
So, and I saw how hard you studied.
You putting
You're
putting
telling me
all my
that the
secrets out there, bro.
you're telling me, bro, that what you know right now doing your career, you couldn't learn how to do that elsewhere outside of college.
But most of the stuff I learned in my career is from actually from experience. It's not from school.
Exactly.
It's not from school.
So,
I mean, I learned
so
the basic knowledge from school, but I would say majority of what I know now is my experience. You know what I mean? It's my
mhm.
experience. I wouldn't give 100. I would give some credit to college, but most of the credit goes to my experience. And even when I was in college, bro, I used to skip class a lot because I would go to some class. I would go to lecture and lecture. I wouldn't learn shit.
Mm.
I wouldn't learn anything, bro. One time I skipped class for like I only showed up to put in my homework. I didn't go to the class because the professor wasn't saying shit to me. Like it was a waste of my time. What I did do, however, I had the syllabus, and I actually would go on YouTube, like you said, YouTube University. I would go on YouTube, and they would break down everything to me, and I would take the test, and I would ace the test. And the
Now
professor
tell me
would be
why.
shocked.
Now tell me why are you paying that professor just to hear them talk to go to YouTube to really learn what they should be teaching you?
You know why we pay it? And you know why I think we pay it? Because at the end of the day, that professor works for an institution that's going to give us the piece of paper that has credibility to say, "Oh, here's your degree." That's the only reason why I did it. Because personally,
So how's that not a scam then?
it is. It
Okay,
is. That's what I'm saying.
good.
It is a scam. But me personally, man, I want to say 90% of the things I learned in college, bro, I learned on my own. I was self-taught. I had to, you would see me, I would go to the library, I would just take the textbook and study the text
Hmm.
and read it. I didn't
Yeah,
need a fucking professor to tell me how to do the shit.
yeah,
I just studied the book or I would go on YouTube.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So, in that opinion, I would definitely say college somewhat is a scam. There's
Hmm.
no way. It is somewhat a scam. Another thing that I think is a scam, and some people are going to be mad. Some people are going to say, if you're broke, don't say that. I can assure you, I am none of the above. But I will say this, the club is a scam.
The
The,
club.
bro, the club is the biggest scam in human history.
Really?
It's one of the biggest scams. Bro, why the hell would you go to a club and buy a bottle for $400? Bro, the same bottle that costs $30 at the liquor store, you're gonna go to the club and buy for $300, $400.
Yeah,
That's insane.
yeah. That's wild.
And a lot of people are gonna say, "Well, the club has to pay the staff." I get all that. I get all that. Trust me. I know how business runs. I get all that. But a $30 bottle for you selling that shit for 300,
Yeah, that's wild.
that is 10 times the profit, or
Mm-hmm.
10 times the cost, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
I correct myself. 10 times the price. So you're telling me that you need to upcharge somebody 10 times to make a profit? Come on.
There's some
Come
high
on.
profit. There's some high profit margins, man.
That profit margin is crazy. And that's just for some bottle. Some bottle costs you 500, depending on what you're getting. Then you got to
Exactly.
get a section to sit down.
So let me ask you this then. So
Yeah.
on the contrary, I see what you're saying, but maybe it's not a scam. I don't think that's a scam. I
Why
think
not?
what if you're really paying for the atmosphere? What if it's the because you can go, all right, go and get the bottle and go home and pop the bottle by yourself. No DJ, no club, no fancy lights, no, atmosphere, no female, none of that.
Mhm.
It's not the same. So really you're paying for the atmosphere. I don't think it's a scam.
I think it's a scam.
I'm
Um,
sorry, man. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one,
uh,
man.
I
It's
think the
definitely not a
club.
scam.
I think the club 100% is a scam.
Okay, so what are you paying for then? What are
Bro,
you paying for?
I'm not saying you should have paid for those things. I'm just saying the price is insane for what you're getting. The price is insane for what you're getting. I don't
But,
think
but
it's
what you're getting is the atmosphere.
yeah, but bro, bro, instead of going to the club, like I'm not a big club fanatic. Maybe some people might say I'm biased. I think the club is a scam. I'd rather go to a nice restaurant that plays music, great atmosphere still. Great atmosphere. You can eat good food with good people, with your peoples. Y'all can relax, y'all can have drinks, y'all can for much cheaper than the club. So
Mm.
why the hell would I want to go to a club, bro? The biggest reason why I say the club's a scam is the bottles. I'm not paying you $400 for a bottle that you pay $40 for. That's 10 times the profit. Man, they could kiss my ass,
You
man.
know,
I ain't doing it. I ain't
you
doing
know,
it.
you
And if
know.
you catch me in a club,
Uh,
if you catch me in a club, bro, just know I'm not a regular. I might go to a club maybe once or twice a year, and it's usually to celebrate something with a friend
yeah.
of mine or something. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm.
But I'm not the type to say, "Yo, let's go to the club every weekend." Are you shitting me, bro? I'm
Mm.
the type to say, "Let's catch a flight." I'll do that. That's the experience I want. But going to the club, man, they can't even guarantee your safety in the club, bro.
You know what? I think we're gonna have to lie with the disagreement here, but I think I have something we might agree on. I think this is probably the biggest scam in nutrition, right? When I go to Vitamin Shop and I get my protein powder, right?
Yeah.
And I let me just grab this and show you. I pop open my protein bottle,
It's like
and
a
I
quarter.
and I realize it's only to right here. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's
Like
crazy.
seriously, what?
Got a big ass
I think,
bottle, though, right?
dude, the bottle is